It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Nigel Walters is on their practice outlap, warming up the tires. With just 40 minutes left, the pressure is on for drivers to finalize their setups.
Every minute counts now, and the drivers know it. This is when we see some of the most aggressive tuning and testing.
Nigel Geoghegan begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race.
This outlap is crucial for setting up the car's systems and getting a feel for the track.
Renee Robertson is on their practice outlap, warming up the tires. Jareth Hallam begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions.
Jareth Hallam will be testing the limits, making sure everything's in sync for the faster laps to come.
It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Robertson is testing the GT Ferruccio 55 volts 12 under more aggressive conditions.
This first flying lap will give us some insights into how Renee Robertson's car is performing today.
Daniel Kosick is now on their first flying lap. Let's see what they can do. Renee Robertson just clocked 145.573. Can they improve on this lap?
As the session progresses, Renee Robertson is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Adam Tyus is on their practice out lap, warming up the tires. Nigel Walters makes their way through Maggott's corner, pushing the pace. John Bontakis begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions.
This outlap is crucial for setting up the car's systems and getting a feel for the track.
Walters is testing the GT Shadow V8 under more aggressive conditions. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race.
Robert Cormack will be testing the limits, making sure everything's in sync for the faster laps to come.
John Bontakis is on their practice outlap, warming up the tires. Adam Tyus is now on their first flying lap. Let's see what they can do. Hailing from the quaint town of Melton Mowbray, Nigel must be really pumped to be here today.
Isn't that where they make all the pork pies?
It is, so let's hope he's not eating all the pies and giving himself some extra ballast. Daniel Kosick makes their way through Main Straight, pushing the pace. Nigel Walters has set a best lap time of 1:46.682 so far. Robert Cormack begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions. Renee's last lap was a 1:45.614, aiming to shave off some seconds here.
Renee is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Tyus is testing the GT Ferruccio 55 volts 12 under more aggressive conditions. Now, several laps into the session, Nigel Walters looks to refine their line and timing.
As the session progresses, Nigel Walters is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Adam Tyus is now on their first flying lap. Let's see what they can do. Renee just clocked 1:45.419. Can they improve on this lap? David Constable-Berry is on their practice out lap, warming up the tires. Nigel Walters has set a best lap time of 1:46.682 so far. Jarrett's last lap was a 1:47.745, aiming to shave off some seconds here. Greg Sabo begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions. Adam Tyus just clocked 1:46.344. Can they improve on this lap?
Adam is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race.
This outlap is crucial for setting up the car's systems and getting a feel for the track.
Jareth Hallam has set a best lap time of 1:47.272 so far.
As the session progresses, Jareth Hallam is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Dominic Fovarg makes their way through Priory Corner, pushing the pace.
Keep an eye on how Dominic Fovarg handles the curves at Priory Corner. It's a good indicator of the car's balance.
Bountikis is testing the GT Ferruccio 57 volts 12 under more aggressive conditions. Neil Constable Barry is now on their first flying lap. Let's see what they can do.
This first flying lap will give us some insights into how Neil Constable Barry's car is performing today.
Now, several laps into the session, Adam Tyus looks to refine their line and timing. Greg Sabo is on their practice outlap, warming up the tires.
Greg Sabo will be testing the limits, making sure everything's in sync for the faster laps to come.
Constable Barry just clocked 1:48.626. Can they improve on this lap? Jareth's last lap was a 147.820, aiming to shave off some seconds here.
Jareth is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
Now, several laps into the session, John Bountakius looks to refine their line and timing. Niall Geoghegan has set a best lap time of 147.289 so far.
As the session progresses, Niall Geoghegan is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Renee just clocked 144.717. Can they improve on this lap?
Renee is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
Greg Sabo begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions. Robert's last lap was a 148.582, aiming to shave off some seconds here.
As the session progresses, Robert Cormack is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Now, several laps into the session, Renee Robertson looks to refine their line and timing.
Renee is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
Daniel just clocked 449.174. Can they improve on this lap?
As the session progresses, Daniel Kosick is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Jareth's last lap was a 147.901, aiming to shave off some seconds here.
Jareth is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Darren Nickel makes their way through Abbey, pushing the pace. Adam Tyus has set a best lap time of 1:46.263 so far.
As the session progresses, Adam Tyus is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Dominic Fovarg just clocked 2:31.397. Can they improve on this lap? Now several laps into the session, Niall Keegan looks to refine their line and timing. Neil's last lap was a 1:47.863, aiming to shave off some seconds here. Kosick just clocked 4:17.968. Can they improve on this lap? Now several laps into the session, Dominic Fovarg looks to refine their line and timing.
Dominic is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
Niall Keegan has set a best lap time of 1:47.289 so far. Kruger Dorado is testing the GT Ferruccio 55 volts 12 under more aggressive conditions. Neil's last lap was a 4:20.429, aiming to shave off some seconds here. Thomas Kruger Dorado is now in the first flying lap. Let's see what they can do. Phil Bodkin is on their practice outlap, warming up the tires.
This outlap is crucial for setting up the car's systems and getting a feel for the track.
The mid-table bandit is going well.
If he gets too far up the order, he'll get a nosebleed.
Dave's dad just clocked 148.259. Can they improve on this lap?
As the session progresses, Neil Constable Barry is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Greg Szabo has set a best lap time of 149.193 so far. Joel Lemrich begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions.
Joel Lemrich will be testing the limits, making sure everything's in sync for the faster laps to come.
Now several laps into the session, Dominic Fovarg looks to refine their line and timing. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Tim Weller makes their way through Beckett's corner, pushing the pace.
Keep an eye on how Tim Weller handles the curves at Beckett's corner. It's a good indicator of the car's balance.
Jareth Hallam just clocked 620.180. Can they improve on this lap? Niles' last lap was a 146.690, aiming to shave off some seconds here. What does Rich Snape and Severus Snape have in common?
They both have bottomless disdain for you?
Lo, no Euro, they both hate Harry Potter. Now, several laps into the session, Jareth Hallam looks to refine their line and timing. Chris Stokes is on their practice out lap, warming up the tires. Darren Nickel has set a best lap time of 1:49.439 so far.
Darren is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements. Competing at VVS for over 5 years now, make Martin one of the veterans.
I hear that Nigel is a pretty keen skier and snowboarder.
He's certainly got a mountain to climb if he wants to do well in this race.
Bodkin just clocked 1:46.229. Can they improve on this lap?
As the session progresses, Phil Bodkin is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Now, several laps into the session, Niall Geokeegan looks to refine their line and timing.
Niall is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
Limerick is testing the GT Shadow V8 under more aggressive conditions.
This first flying lap will give us some insights into how Joel Lemrich's car is performing today.
Daniel Kosick has set a best lap time of 1:47.513 so far.
As the session progresses, Daniel Kosick is dialing in, looking more confident with each lap.
Darren's last lap was a 147.280, aiming to shave off some seconds here. Joel Lemrick is now on their first flying lap. Let's see what they can do.
Keep an eye on how Joel Lemrich handles the curves at Main Straight. It's a good indicator of the car's balance.
Now, several laps into the session, Renee Robertson looks to refine their line and timing.
Renee is really starting to push now, analyzing every sector for potential improvements.
Chris Stokes begins their outlap, feeling out the track conditions.
This outlap is crucial for setting up the car's systems and getting a feel for the track.
Joel Lemrich makes their way through Lufield Corner, pushing the pace. Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix. This is where the mental game comes into play. Constable Barry is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Greg Chabot is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Greg Chabot can deliver.
Robert Cormack is on their outlap. You can feel the tension building. Halem is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Martin Moll is rising to the occasion. Thomas Kruger Dorado is on their first flying lap. Thomas has just completed a lap in 1:56.498. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It looks like Daniel Coaches is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Wow, look at Joel Lemrich go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. The adrenaline is pumping. Phil Bodkin is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
Looks like Thomas Kruger Dorado is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there. Thomas Kruger Dorado has completed their outlap. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Daniel is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. It's clear that Greg Sabo is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and John Buntakis is nailing both.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by John Buntakis.
This is what it's all about. Constable Barry is putting on a show for the fans in this qualifying session.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Tim Weller going at lightning speed.
Looks like Tim Weller is really cooking with gas out there today.
Time to bring out the marshmallows and let's toast some fuel. Tim Weller has some work to do, as that 146.975 is only good enough for 8th.
That's not a bad time, but I am sure they can improve further on that.
The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but David is rising to the occasion. Renee Robertson is on their first flying lap. Wow, look at Constable Barry go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. Adam Tyus is on their outlap.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Adam Tyus handles it.
I don't know about you, but I think Cormac might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast. Cormac has some work to do, as that 204.288 is only good enough for 19th.
There's still more time to be had, but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Thomas Kruger Dorado is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
As Crashy Kruger completes their outlap, they will be hoping they have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. A challenging session for Martin so far. They're currently in 21st position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result.
You're absolutely right, Hal. Martin Mole might be disappointed with their current position, but there's still time to make a difference. They'll need to remain composed, analyze the data, and push themselves to the limit to improve their qualifying result.
It's been a challenging day for Dom in qualifying. They currently sit in 14th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result.
You're absolutely right, Hal. Vovarg is currently facing a challenging situation, but they have the skills and experience to tackle it head-on. They'll need to stay focused, trust in their abilities, and push themselves to the limit to turn things around.
A tough qualifying session for Robert Cormack. They're currently mired in 20th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race.
Absolutely, Hal. Robert Cormack is aware of the current situation, and they'll be looking to make the most of the remaining time. They'll need to analyze their performance, work closely with their team, and find that extra bit of speed to improve their qualifying position.
Currently in 9th, Bottas has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Not the ideal start for Nigel in this qualifying session. Currently in 12th position, they'll be eager to put together a strong final lap to improve their standing. The pressure is on, and they'll need to deliver their best performance.
Absolutely, Hal. Nigel Walters is facing a challenging situation, but they have the skill and determination to turn things around. It's not over until the checkered flag, and they still have a chance to improve their result.
It's been a challenging session for Daniel. They're currently languishing in 13th position, which is not where they had envisioned themselves. But in motorsport, anything can happen, and with their skill and determination, they might still turn things around. Ida Euros, a slightly windy day here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix, ideal for some exciting racing action.
The drivers look focused, poised for a challenge with this breeze. Excitement's building, Hal.
We see Phil Bodkin sitting in the second spot.
Big things expected for Phil today.
Renee Robertson is holding down the fort in third place.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
And in third place, we have Jareth Hallam.
And like many others, they are starting the race on the medium's tire compound.
Martin Moll is placed in fourth. Rich Snape is lining up fifth. The sixth starting position belongs to David Constable-Barry, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
They will be looking for some good points towards their Pro-Am class campaign today.
Starting from the seventh position, Tim Weller will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. Adam Tyus has qualified ninth.
Starting on the medium's tires.
Niall Geoghegan will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 10th on the grid. Joe Limrich is 11th. Nigel Walters may have a bit of work to do, starting from 12th on the grid.
Where can Walters put that GT Shadow V8?
Daniel Kosick may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot. Starting from 14th on the grid is not ideal for Neil Constable-Barry, but they're a fighter. Dominic Fovarg is in a solid position starting from 15th on the grid.
The Pro-Am class driver will want to move forwards from here.
Lining up in 16th is Nico Vaughn.
Points are definitely on the table.
Sitting in 17th, it's Darren Nickel.
It's going to be an uphill battle to get a good result from here, but if anyone can do it, it's Darren Nickel.
John Buntakis is going to be starting from 18th. A formation lap is underway as the safety car leads the drivers out through the first lap.
You can feel the tension rise as we get ready to start the race.
During the formation lap, the teams will also be keeping a close eye on their drivers, ensuring everything is running smoothly.
The formation lap can also be a great opportunity to spot any issues with the car or track conditions.
With the clock ticking down to the start of the race, the drivers will need to maintain their positions and gaps on the grid.
Every driver will be looking to make their move early on.
All eyes are on the lights. As the drivers make their way around the formation lap, tensions are high and excitement is palpable.
This is the moment where they need to stay focused and keep their cool.
Every move they make, every decision they take, could have a major impact on their chances of success in this race.
It's a real test of their mental and physical preparation.
As watch the drivers roll around on the formation lap, let's remember it's not just about the drivers. The teams will be monitoring their cars closely, making sure everything is running smoothly.
It's a high-pressure situation, and a poor start could put you at a disadvantage for the entire race.
They need to maintain concentration waiting for those green lights. It's a rolling start here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix, as drivers are getting themselves ready on the formation lap, trying to get their tires up to temperature and doing final systems checks.
This is where they'll be sizing each other up and trying to get a feel for the competition.
Absolutely.
Safety car in this lap.
Drivers will need to make sure they're primed and ready to react the instant the lights go out. As the drivers make their way around the formation lap, tensions are high and excitement is palpable.
This is the moment where they need to stay focused and keep their cool.
Every move they make, every decision they take, could have a major impact on their chances of success in this race.
It's a real test of their mental and physical preparation.
As watch the drivers roll around on the formation lap, let's remember it's not just about the drivers. The teams will be monitoring their cars closely, making sure everything is running smoothly.
It's a high-pressure situation, and a poor start could put you at a disadvantage for the entire race.
They need to maintain concentration waiting for those green lights.
Green, 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 let's go.
The lights are off. It's pedal to the metal time.
Concentration is crucial as they navigate through the pack and try to establish a strong position. The best drivers know how to find their rhythm quickly.
That's a solid performance from Thomas Gruber-Dorado at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them.
Consistency is key in racing. Thomas just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
Weller is placed 9th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Niall Giokeegan, who is 0.3 seconds behind.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. It's going to be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
Some great driving from Weller, who has increased their lead over Giokeegan and is starting to put some distance between them.
That's a really strong performance from Team Weller. They're not giving Niall Giokeegan any chances to catch up.
The pressure is really on for John Buntakis in 17th as Greg Szabo is closing in. This is where experience and skill really count. Impressive driving from John Buntakis, who has managed to extend their lead over Szabo. They are walking away at this point. Does Szabo have anything in reserve? Chris wants to get into Greg Szabo's slipstream.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
Heartbreak for Chris as they slip down the field.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Baldilocks needs to push.
Snapes has the pedal to the metal, chasing Constable Barry.
Do they have the speed for a move, and more importantly, do they have the talent?
The gap between Riccardo Snapese and Daddy Dave is widening. It's now up to 0.7 seconds.
This is a tough situation for Rich. They need to find a way to pick up some speed and close that gap.
Adam Tice is running 8th. They are trying to catch Riccardo Snapese. It's not going to plan for Tice. They are still behind Snape and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. It's all about consistency for Joel Lemrich, who is currently 19th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Joel Lemrich has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Tough break for Lemrich, who has just lost a position. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Constable Barry is chasing Martin Moll in P5.
Will David be able to make a move and pass Moll?
Great effort from Daddy Dave. Their last lap was the best we have seen from them.
If they can keep up that pace, or even improve it, then this could make Daddy Dave a real challenge for Martin Moll.
The race is heating up as Tim Weller in 9th closes in on Adam Tice. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It seems like Tim has gotten a bit between their teeth, improving on Adam Tice's lap time there.
We will have to see if Adam Tice has got any answers for that.
Wow, Nico Vaughn is really pushing hard to catch up to Dave's dad. There's blood in the water for 13th place.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Gio Keegan is giving it their all as they chase down Chris Stokes in P16. It's not looking good for Gio Keegan. They are still behind Stokes and the gap is increasing. They're going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around.
It's not ideal for Niall Gio Keegan, but they can still turn this around. They need to concentrate on their own driving and not let the gap get any bigger.
Things are heating up as Constable Barry tries to close the gap to Nigel Walters. What a move. Constable Barry has moved up to 12th. The gap between Niall in 16th and Chris Stokes remains over a second, but Niall is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 35 minutes?
It's going to be tough for Niall Gio Keegan, as Chris Stokes seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Niall Keegan pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
I'm sure Vaughn in 15th is starting to notice Niall Geoghegan is right on their tail and is still closing that gap. Can they hold on to their position?
Absolutely. Nico Vaughn in 15th is doing a fantastic job of holding on to their lead, but they can't afford to make a single mistake. And Niall Geoghegan is looking for any opportunity to make a move. This could be a battle to the finish line.
Things are going according to plan for Bountakis, who is currently 19th.
That's right. They can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
Bountakis has just put in a faster lap than Robert Cormack, so that's going to give them something to worry about.
The question is now, can Cormack respond to that in kind? They are going to have to pick up the pace.
The crowd is on tenterhooks as Nico Vaughn in 15th chases after Niall Geoghegan. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Nico Vaughn find a way to catch up?
That's right, Vaughn in 15th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Niall Geoghegan is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
The battle for 5 is heating up as Constable Barry tries to catch Martine Mol in P5.
This is where every inch counts. David is pushing hard to close the gap on Martine Mol. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
Martine Mol is on a mission, chasing Phil, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Who will have the speed and skill to come out on top?
Martine Mol is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Botters at the moment.
This is a frustrating situation for Mol, but they can't give up just yet. They need to keep pushing and hope for a mistake from Bodkin.
This is a thrilling battle as DCB edges closer to Martine in their fight for P5. David could be on a charge here. Sky, they have just put in a quicker lap than Mol.
As long as David Constable Barry can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Niall Geoghegan needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
The race is really heating up. Constable Barry is hunting down Mol with everything they've got. Looks like Martine Mol is pulling away from David Constable Barry. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Brooklyn's corner.
DCB needs to pick up the pace for sure, but I don't think they have it in them.
As they speed through Bridge Corner, Darren is relentlessly pursuing Vaughn in a high-stakes battle for position. A great moment for Darren Nicole, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
You can't argue with results like that. Darren Nicol is really making their mark on this race.
The adrenaline is pumping as Vaughn gets within striking distance of Nicol in their race for 15th.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
Great driving from Vaughn, who has just gained a place and moved up to 15th. Look at Robertson is hot on the tail of Thomas.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Rene Robertson wants to be careful not to overdo it.
The best laid plans of Mice and Men, huh, Sky? But it's certainly not going to plan for Rene Robertson right now, as they are struggling to keep up with Thomas Kruger-Dorado. Every move counts now as Tim Weller works to reel in Adam Tyus and overtake for P8.
The tension between Tim Weller and Adam Tyus is palpable as they battle for P8. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
The gap between Weller and Adam is growing. It's now up to 0.5 seconds.
It's not over yet, but Tim Weller should get a move on if they want to catch up to Tyus.
Joel could be looking for a way up the inside of Nico Vaughn. The gap between Joel and Vaughn is getting smaller. Maul is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Oh, this is getting intense. Nico Vaughn is just behind Joel Lemrich.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
The gap between Nico Vaughn and Lemrich is widening. It's now up to 0.9 seconds. Oh, this is getting intense. Martin Mole is just a few car lengths behind Phil Bodkin. It's not looking good for Mole. They are still behind Fat Dog Phil, and the gap is increasing. They're going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Looks like Tim Weller is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
It seems like Tim Weller is pushing their on for recording their best lap so far this race. Look at that. They're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost them dearly. Fantastic move from Daniel, who has just gained a position.
Yes, Kosick is driving with real precision, and it's paying off.
In your experience, Sky, what was the most important aspect of managing tire degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Hal, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and tire preservation was key to optimizing race pace and strategy.
Tim Weller is running 8th. They are trying to catch Adam Tyus.
The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds. Who will come out on top?
It's not going to plan for Tim Weller. They are still behind Tyus, and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now.
Tim Weller needs to keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way. If they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to Adam.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Joel Lemrich is chasing Daniel Kochis in P16. Joel is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Donkey Kong at the moment. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Nigel will need to keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. The best laid plans of mice and men, don't it, Sky? But it's certainly not going to plan for Nigel right now, as they are struggling to keep up with Neil Constable-Berry.
Can they get it together and reduce the gap?
It's a battle of wills out there, with Martin trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Phil Bodkin. The gap is slowly closing. The time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? It looks like Weller has been called into the pits. This is where the race gets really interesting. David is closing in on Fovarg. DCB has got their head down now, working those exits and apexes and setting their best lap time so far with a 1 minute. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with DCB gaining places and Dominic Fovarg losing them.
Absolutely, David Constable-Berry is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
The tension is building as Daniel trails behind Joel Lemrich. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Joel Lemrich hold on, or will Daniel Kosick be able to close them down? Daniel appears to be losing ground on Lemrich. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Vale and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground.
This is where the mental toughness of Kosick comes into play. They need to try push, even when things aren't going their way.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Fovarg, who is currently in P9. But David Constable-Berry is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Dominic Fovarg.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But David Constable-Berry is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Dominic Fovarg in P9 doing everything they can to catch up.
The race is heating up as Phil Bodkin in fourth closes in on Jareth Hallam. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
Absolutely. Phil Bodkin in fourth will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
And Lemrich is having to make that GT Shadow V8 as wide as possible to try and keep Nico behind them. He's pulling away. Joel is increasing the gap to Vaughn. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
Ha ha! I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right. But wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion.
Thomas Kruger Dorado has decided to pit. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Vaughn trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Joel Lemrich. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Nico Vaughn close in enough to mount a challenge? A setback for Nico Vaughn, who has just been passed. Disappointing for Nico Vaughn, they now find themselves in 16th.
That's gotta be frustrating. But Vaughn is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
Goldilocks is giving it their all as they chase down Martin Mole in P9.
The mental game is just as important here. Chris must keep their cool while putting pressure on Mole.
The gap between Stokes and Martin Mole is growing. It's now up to 0.7 seconds.
This is a tough situation for Goldilocks. They need to find a way to pick up some speed and close that gap.
Thomas Kruger Dorado wants to close that gap with Dom. It looks like Dominic Fovargu is pulling away from TKD. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Bridge Corner.
This is a frustrating situation for Kruger Dorado, but they can't give up just yet. They need to keep pushing and hope for a mistake from Dominic Fovargu.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
If Vaughn gets any closer to Kosick, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Oh dear, Nico has dropped down to 15th.
Sucks to be them, Hal.
I'm curious, Sky, can you tell us about any pre-race rituals you had when you were racing?
Of course, Hal. Before every race, I would listen to a specific playlist of songs to help me get in the zone. I also had a lucky pair of socks that I would wear during races. It may sound silly, but those little rituals helped me feel prepared and focused.
Vaughn is pitting. Phil is on a mission, chasing Jareth, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
With just 0.4 seconds between them. Will Bodkin be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
A great pass for Phil as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Jareth Hallam has lost ground.
Go, go, go. That's what we want to see.
The pressure is on for Renee Reckleston as they try to catch up to Dominic. Superb driving from Renee Reckleston, who, with that overtake, has gained a position in the race. Heartbreak for Robertson as they slip down the field.
That's gotta hurt. Renee will be kicking themselves right now.
The pursuit is on. Dave's dad is closing the gap on John Bontakis, determined to claim P12.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Constable Barry's gonna have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Buntakis.
A tough moment for Constable Barry, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 14th. Adam Tyus is pulled into the pits. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
It's a game of strategy now as Nico Vaughn hunts down Joel Lemrich. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
An impressive showing from Nico Vaughn, who has gained positions and left Joel Lemrich in the dust. The crowd is on tenterhooks as Weller in 11th chases after Adam Tyus. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Tim Weller find a way to catch up? Tim has just managed to set their fastest lap of the race so far with a lap time of 1 minute, exclamation mark.
The more laps they do, the faster these guys get. This should make for some great racing, Hal.
The gap between Hallam in 6th and Martin Moll remains over a second, but Hallam is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 14 minutes?
Indeed, the tension is palpable as Jareth Hallam tries to reel in Martin Moll. But Martin Moll is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Jareth Hallam find some extra pace to bring the fight to Martin Moll?
Fulvarg is in the pits. No room for error here. Tias is breathing down the neck of Nigel, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. What a move. Tias has moved up to 9th.
That's what we like to see. Adam Tias is really showing their class today.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
One wrong move, and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Weller and Adam, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
It seems like Weller is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Tim Weller refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
It looks like Darren is pushing hard to catch up to Joel Limrich. The gap is over a second, but Darren is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Joel Limrich? The gap between Darren Nickel and Joel Limrich is widening. It's now up to 1.2 seconds. It's a battle of wills out there, with Jareth Hallam trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Martin Moll. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? Jareth needs to get more consistent, Sky. They have just put in a slower lap than Martin. It looks like Baldylocks has been called into the pits. Every move counts now as Jareth Hallam works to reel in Martin and overtake for P4. It's not looking good for Hallam. They are still behind Martin Moll, and the gap is increasing. They're going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Nigel, as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that Knockoff Nigel is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
The mid-table bandit is pitting. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Jareth, who is currently in P5. But Martin Moll is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Jareth Hallam. A great moment for Hallam, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Impressive. Hallam is really showing their skill and determination out there.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Snape is defending for their life, but David is right there. Can they do it?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for David to make up that gap, especially with the mid-table bandit defending so well.
The Walters is in trouble.
They're coming up fast on Neil, and there's no way they're going to be able to slow down in time.
Looks like someone needs to tell Walters that this isn't a demolition derby. That kind of driving just won't cut it at this level.
Rubbing is racing. I tried rubbing it once, my nipple nuts came undone.
Tough break for Nigel, who has just lost a position.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Walters has to stay calm and focused, and make their move when the time is right.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Hallam will need to keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. It seems like Hallam has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Martin Moll's lap time there. The race is heating up as Snape in 8th closes in on Tim Weller. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Three cars, three different racing strategies. One driver is defending, while the other two are relentlessly attacking. Who will come out on top? Disappointing for Baldilocks. They now find themselves in 16th. Oh dear, Baldilocks has dropped down to 18th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Chris Stokes needs to push.
We got a close battle as Tim Weller closes in on Constable Barry.
Should things go south between Tim Weller and DCB, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars. But trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Weller is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with David Constable Barry at the moment.
Tim Weller is really going to need to push in Club Corner to try and gain some ground on David before they disappear into the sunset.
The tension is building as Renee trails behind Thomas Kruger-Dorado. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Thomas Kruger-Dorado hold on, or will Renee Robertson be able to close them down? The Renegade Master has just put in a faster lap than Kruger-Dorado, so that's going to give them something to worry about. The gap between Jareth Hallam in 4th and Martin Moll remains over 2nd, but Jareth Hallam is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 7 minutes?
It's going to be tough for Jareth, as Martin Moll seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Jareth pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
Nico Vaughn has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Donkey Kong. I expect their only hope at this point is that Daniel makes an error.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from DK.
The crowd is on tenterhooks as Jareth Hallam in 4th chases after Martin Moll. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Jareth Hallam find a way to catch up?
This is where experience comes into play. Martin Moll has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Jareth is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the Titans?
Well, it doesn't look like Thomas is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Robertson. The best laid plans of mice and men, huh, Sky? But it's certainly not going to plan for TKD right now, as they are struggling to keep up with Renee Recklestone.
It's not over yet, but Kruger-Dorado should get a move on if they want to catch up to Renee.
This is a thrilling battle as Snape edges closer to Tyus in their fight for P6.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Snape has got to stay patient and wait for Tyus to make a mistake.
Snape is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far, they are 0.42 seconds down. It's a battle of wills out there, with Hallam trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Martin Mol. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? The gap between Hallam and Martin is growing. It's now up to 0.8 seconds. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Rich Snape, who is currently in P7. But Adam Tyus is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Rich Snape.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Adam Tyus is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Rich Snape in P7 doing everything they can to catch up.
The gap between Mol and Hallam is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Martin to even allow Jareth to get a look in. Jareth appears to be losing ground on Mol. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Chapel Corner and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground.
Jareth needs to keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way. If they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to Mol.
Oh, this is getting intense. The mid-table bandit is just a few car lengths behind Tyus. The gap between Rich Snape and Tyus is widening. It's now up to 0.4 seconds.
Rich needs to pick up the pace for sure, but I don't think they have it in them.
It looks like Castleberry is pushing hard to catch up to Rich Snape. The gap is over a second, but Castleberry is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Rich Snape? It's game on now. Constable Barry has closed the gap to Rich. It's now down to 0.7 seconds. The race is heating up as Snape in 7th closes in on Adam Tyus. The gap is just over a second. I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It seems like the mid-table bandit is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Tyus's. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. David will need to keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. David could be on a charge here. Sky, they have just put in a quicker lap than Riccardo Snapezi. The battle for 6 is heating up as Riccardo Snapezi tries to catch Adam Tyus in P6. Looks like Tyus is pulling away from the mid-table bandit. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Abbey. David is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Looks like Rich is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for GeoGagan, as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. GeoGagan is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Walters at the moment. David is running 8th. They are trying to catch the mid-table bandit. The best laid plans of mice and men, huh, Sky? But it's certainly not going to plan for Constable Barry right now, as they are struggling to keep up with Rich Snape.
It's not ideal for David, but they can still turn this around. They need to concentrate on their own driving and not let the gap get any bigger.
It looks like Nico Vaughn is all over. Nickel, I think they are going to press them through Beckett's corner and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Hal, but exactly what I would be doing here, as Nickel is going to be aware of them riding their bumper. Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
A setback for Nico Vaughn, who has just been passed.
Definitely. But Vaughn is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with DCB trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Rich Snape. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can David Constable Barry close in enough to mount a challenge? Good news for Constable Barry. The gap to the mid-table bandit has decreased. It's now down to 0.3 seconds. It's going to be tough. Rich Snape is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for David to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position. Renee Robertson is on fire in the last sector. And there it is. Robertson has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. What a drive from Crashy Kruger, securing a great second-place finish.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second-place finish.
Excellent work from Mull to secure third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh is Jareth Hallam, Phil Bodkin, David Constable Barry, and Rich Snape. Coming in 8th, 18th, and 19th, we have Tim Weller, John Bontekis, and Robert Cormack. Greg Sabo brings home 20th. In 9th, it's Dominic Fovargio. Neil Constable Barry claimed 10th. '11th and 12th sees Nigel Walters and Niall GeoGagan. Manual coaches end in 13th. Followed by Joel Lemrick in 15th. Taking 15th is Nico Vaughn. with Adam Tyus in 16th. Eight minutes left on the clock, and we've still got a very quiet timing screen here.
Early doors in practice. Most of these drivers will just be scrubbing in sets of tires and making sure the brake bias is where they want it before they actually go for a time.
Sky, the drivers are lined up and ready. Should we get it on?
Yes, Hal. We should definitely get it. On.
Robert Cormack starts from the front row. That V12 Ferruccio is going to sound incredible when those lights go out.
He might be an AM-class driver, but P2 on this grid says he's got the pace to keep the pros honest. He just needs to nail the launch.
It's an all-Ferruccio second row as Adam Tyus settles into P3, right behind his fellow countryman.
Tyus has been rapid all weekend. Having two AM drivers starting this high up is going to make that run into the first corner very unpredictable for the leaders.
Joel Lemrich rounds out the top 5 in the Shadow V8, looking to use that grunt to disrupt the Ferruccios ahead.
Kosick is the first of the Pro-Am runners we see, and starting in 6th means he's got a lot of hungry AM drivers right in his mirrors.
Niall Giagigan lines up 7th in the second of those Shadow V8s, hoping to find a gap the moment the green flag drops.
Walters in 8th makes it a bit of a shadow sandwich in the mid-pack. That car's got plenty of torque for the standing start.
Down in 9th, Neil Constable-Berry will be looking to make up ground early in that V12. Dominic Fovard completes our top 10, the second Lanzo on the grid and another Pro-Am looking to slice through.
Starting 10th is a double-edged sword. Fovard has got the experience to stay out of trouble, but he's right in the heart of the mid-pack chaos if things go sideways at turn 1.
Tim Weller lines up 11th, another Ferruccio waiting to unleash that V12 power from the 6th row. Starting from 12th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Rich Snape. David Constable-Berry may have a bit of work to do starting from 13th on the grid. Phil Bodkin is going to be starting from 14th.
Phil will be hoping for some good points today.
Jareth Hallam lines up in 15th. One of the more experienced Pro-Am names will be aiming for a steady climb up the order. Chris Stokes is placed in 16th.
It's Stokes' time to show us what they're made of.
Martin Mole, right next to Stokes in 17th, two pro drivers buried deep in the field.
That is a serious amount of talent for the 9th row. Watch these two. They'll be carving through the AM runners before the first lap is even over.
A formation lap is underway as the safety car leads the drivers out through the first lap.
You can feel the tension rise as we get ready to start the race. You see them weaving there, trying to get some energy into those tires and making sure the brake discs are glowing before they reach the boxes.
It's that final moment of calm before the storm, everyone just trying to settle the nerves and get into the zone.
I used to hate this part. The waiting is the hardest bit. You're constantly checking your mirrors, making sure you don't get jumped the second that safety car peels off.
The tension is palpable. 17 cars, all searching for that perfect bit of tarmac to launch from. The safety car is bringing them around the final complex now, and the pack is starting to bunch up.
This is where the lead driver controls the pace. They'll be looking to catch the rest of the field sleeping the moment the pit speed limiter comes off.
The lights on the safety car are out. It's about to dive into the pits and hand control over to the field.
Here we go. You can hear the revs rising across the grid. The heartbeat's at 180 right now, just waiting for that green flag.
It's a rolling start
Safety
here at
car in
Silverstone
this lap.
2005 Grand Prix, as drivers are getting themselves ready on the formation lap, trying to get their tires up to temperature and doing final systems checks.
This is where they'll be sizing each other up and trying to get a feel for the competition.
Absolutely. It's a crucial part of the race. Drivers will need to make sure they're primed and ready to react the instant the lights go out. The safety car has ducked into the lane, and it's Robert Cormack who now has the hammer in his hand.
He's holding them. He's waiting for the exact right moment to bolt.
The pack is crawling now. The tension is absolutely through the roof as they wait for the signal.
They're playing a high-stakes game of chicken. If you go too early, you're penalized. Too late, and you're swamped.
Green, 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 let's go.
Green! We are racing at VVS, and Cormack gets a decent launch from the front.
Pius is right with him, though. And look at those shadows mid-pack, trying to find a gap 3 wide.
Jareth Hallam is glued to the back of Bodkin, just 2/10 in it, as they scramble through the opening lap.
Hallam's actually managed to pick up a spot, but Bodkin has jumped forward as well. They're still locked together with barely a hair between them.
Thomas Kruger Dorado is breathing down the neck of Martin Mol, just 1/10 of a second separating them on this opening lap.
Mol is a pro driver, so Dorado is doing a massive job just to stay in that slipstream. He's not letting that Shadow V8 get away.
Yellow flag, safety car's out.
Dorado has picked up a place into 14th, but Martin Mol is still the target, even if that gap has stretched out to 3/10.
The traffic is thinning out slightly, which is giving Mol some breathing room to start finding his rhythm and moving forward.
The safety car is in play.
Let's not forget about the physical challenge of driving behind the safety car. The drivers need to keep their tires and brakes up to temperature to be ready to attack when the safety car comes in.
It's a real test of skill and endurance for these drivers, but that's why they're the best in the business. Let's see how this plays out. As a former racing driver, Sky, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Hal. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
The lights are back on top of the safety car. We're still under caution as the track is being cleared.
It's a mental test now. You're sitting in a hot cockpit, heart rate trying to come down, but you have to stay sharp for the restart.
I was looking at Robert Cormack at the front. He's had a lot of pressure from Tyus right from the start signal.
He handled it well. Leading a race is a completely different skill set to chasing. You're the one setting the references, not just following brake lights.
Is that something you found difficult back in your racing days? Transitioning from the Hunter to the Hunted?
It's the mirrors. You start looking back more than you look forward, and that's when you miss an apex or lock a wheel. Cormack needs to keep his eyes on the road.
We've also seen a lot of variety in the top 10 V12 Ferruccios versus those V8 Shadows. It's a real clash of philosophies.
The V12s have that top-end scream, but the V8s are so punchy out of the slow corners. It makes for some fantastic tactical battles on a track like this.
The marshals are working hard out there. We're still under the safety car while the debris is cleared away.
Better to be safe than have someone pick up a puncture at 200 kilometers an hour. It gives everyone a chance to reset their strategy too.
I've noticed a few drivers taking some really aggressive lines over the curbs before the caution. Is that risky for the suspension long term?
In these GT cars, you can get away with it for a bit, but you're playing with fire. You rattle the electronics and ruin the tire carcass if you're too greedy.
It's always a trade-off, isn't it? Gain half a tenth now, but lose the
Safety
car in
car
the final
in this
10
lap.
minutes.
Exactly. It's about endurance. You don't win the race on lap 1, though plenty of people try to.
We're seeing about 25 minutes left on the clock once we get going again. That's plenty of time for things to get spicy.
The track will be at its best by then. Rubbered in, sun potentially changing the surface temp. The fast guys will really start to separate themselves from the pack.
Safety car is peeling off. Cormac is back in control, and we are ready to go racing once again. Weller is looking very strong through Brooklands, glued to the back of Gio Geoghegan with just 3/10 between them.
Greg Sabo is hounding Martin Mol for 11th.
Get ready. Safety
It's a
car's
tough
clear.
ask to pass a pro, but Sabo is keeping him honest right now.
Green, green, green. Let's go.
Jabo is side by side with Mol through Brooklands. The gap is gone. He's looking for the move right now.
Sobo has managed to hold his ground, stretching out nearly a second over Phil Bodkin as they cross the line for lap 3.
Great. Sabo has slipped back. Bodkin has jumped ahead of him into 12th, and they are virtually touching.
Bodkin must have gotten a massive run on the exit. Sabo is fighting back immediately, though. He's not letting that one go.
Weller's made the move. He's up into 4th, but Gio Geoghegan is right on his bumper trying to reclaim the spot.
He used the slipstream perfectly. Now comes the hard part for Weller, defending with cold tires in the dirty air.
Weller is starting to breathe a little easier now, pulling out 4/10 on Niall Gio Geoghegan.
He's found his rhythm. If he can break that 1 second toe, he'll be much harder to catch on the straights.
Rich Snape is holding 8th place for now, but David Constable-Barry is looming large in his mirrors.
3/10 is nothing. Constable-Barry is a pro-am, so he'll be looking to use every bit of his experience to force Snape into a mistake.
Snape has actually gained a position up to 7th, even with Constable-Barry still glued to his rear wing. Jareth Hallam is all over Martin Mol. He's looking for a way into the top 10 right now.
This is a great scrap. Hallam's pro-am status is showing through here. He's putting a huge amount of pressure on the pro driver in front.
And Hallam's done it. He's through into 10th place, demoting Mol to 11th.
Stunning move. He didn't hesitate for a second. Now he needs to put his head down and try to pull away from that Shadow V8.
It's a Constable-Barry battle for 8th as David stalks Neil, separated by just 3/10 of a second. The gap is closing even further. David is right on the tail of Neil now, almost under the rear wing.
You can bet there's no love lost here despite the name. David is looking much faster through the complex. He's just waiting for a gap to open up.
Nigel Walters has his mirrors full of David Constable-Barry, who's managed to skip past his namesake and is now hunting 7th.
David is on a real charge. Walters is going to have to get that Shadow V8 as wide as possible to keep him back.
Walters has been overtaken. David Constable-Barry moves up to 7th, and Walters is already trying to find a way back past.
He got him on the brakes. That was a late move from Constable-Barry, really high quality stuff to make that stick.
Neil Constable-Barry has tumbled down to 14th, and he's under fire from Greg Szabo on the farm straight.
He must have had a moment or a big lockup to lose that much ground. Now he's vulnerable with Szabo, right in his slipstream.
And Szabo is through. Neil Constable-Barry drops another spot to 15th, and that gap is widening fast.
Something is definitely not right with Neil's car. A 1.5 gap already. He's struggling for pace now.
Rich Snape has made a massive jump to 5th, and he's not done yet. He's all over Daniel Kosick for 4th.
He's keeping that pressure on Kosick. Rich Snape is driving like a man possessed right now. The gap hasn't moved an inch.
Dorado and David Constable Barry are side by side, 9th and 10th on the road, and there's nothing between. David Constable Barry gets the better of Dorado this time, moving up to 9th.
Great clean racing there. They traded a bit of paint, but gave each other just enough room. Dorado's not giving up. He's staying right there.
Thomas Kruger Dorado has dropped back another place into 11th now. That battle with Constable Barry really cost him momentum.
He's fallen off the back of the 9th place fight. 5/10 in it now, and the slipstream might just be out of reach.
Dorado is right on the tail of Chris Stokes through Abbey, looking to snatch that 10th spot back.
Stokes isn't making it easy. He's placing that Shadow V8 exactly where it needs to be to shut the door.
Dorado is through. He gets back into 10th after a great scrap with Chris Stokes.
He really earned that one. To pull that off against a pro driver shows how much confidence Dorado has in the car right now.
Joel Lemrich diving into the pits from 6th. That's an early stop for the Shadow driver.
He might be trying the undercut. If his tires were going off, fresh rubber now could be a masterstroke later.
Greg Szabo is flying into Kopp's corner, only 2/10 off the back of Martin Mole.
Kopp sees a real test of commitment. If Szabo can stay this close, he's got a big run coming through the Maggots Buckets complex.
Martin Mole has stretched his legs over the last sector, pulling that gap out to over a second on Szabo. Neil Constable Barry is right on the rear bumper of Greg Szabo, just a 10th between them. Neil Constable Barry has made his way into 13th place as they cross the line for lap 6.
He had to be patient there. Szabo was defending like his life depended on it, but he finally found the gap.
Dorado is holding on to 8th, but Dominic Fovarg is right alongside him. There's absolutely nothing in it.
Fovarg is really testing Dorado's defensive skills now. This is where it gets tactical.
Dorado is off. No, wait, it's Dominic Fovarg who's disappeared from the tail of Dorado.
He's tumbled right down the order to 15th. That gap is huge, 42 seconds. Something catastrophic must have happened to Fovarg.
Greg Szabo is 4/10 off Neil Constable Barry as they head towards 13th position.
He's keeping him in sight. If he can just stay in that tow, he might get another chance later in the race.
Neil Constable Barry has pulled a massive gap on Szabo, stretching it out to 1.5 seconds. David Constable Barry is right on the tail of Nigel Walters at Stowe Corner.
He's closed that gap even further. Walters is really being made to work for this 6th position.
Dorado is keeping the pressure on David Constable Barry, just 4/10 back as they work through lap 7. Dorado is inching closer, now just 0.3 of a second behind David Constable-Berry.
He's really finding his groove now. He's been consistently picking up time on every sector.
Chris Stokes is a 9.6 behind Dorado as the race hits the 13-minute mark. Stokes has picked up 8th place, and Dorado has managed to stay just ahead in 7th. Tim Weller has slipped back to 13th, with a huge 3.6-second gap between him and Greg Sabo.
Weller's lost another spot and a staggering 9 seconds to Szabo. That's a huge loss in such a short space of time.
Bodkin is right on the tail of Chris Stokes at Vale, just 0.2 in it.
Stokes will be defending that position with everything he's got. That V8 Shadow is a tough one to pass.
Stokes has managed to pull away, pushing that gap out to 0.6 on Phil Bodkin. Chris Stokes is all over Thomas Kruger Dorado as they power through Bridge Corner. Stokes has just dropped a bit of ground, with Dorado stretching out that 4th, 10th margin.
Dorado's really putting those Ferruccio V12 legs to work on the straights there.
Dorado is within 0.3 of Nigel Walters for 6th place as they kick off lap 9. Dorado's dropped back significantly, with the gap between him and Walters widening to 1.4 seconds.
He might have had a big slide coming out of the slow stuff. That's a lot of ground to lose in one sector.
Neil Constable-Berry is into the top 10 now, 0.9 behind Dorado for 9th.
He's really recovered well. He's got the bit between his teeth and Dorado. Better keep a close eye on his mirrors.
Neil Constable-Berry has done it. He's back up to 9th, and Dorado is right there looking to reclaim the spot. Dorado is all over the back of Neil Constable-Berry through Vale, just 0.2 in it.
He's keeping him in his sights. He won't want to let him get too far ahead as the race enters the final 10 minutes.
Dorado is within 0.1 of Neil Constable-Berry. Now it's virtually a dead heat on the track.
He's really putting the pressure on him. You can see the car dancing around on the limit.
Jareth Hallam is up to 3rd now, 0.4 off the back of Rich Snape for 2nd.
He's got a real shot at making this a double Pro-Am podium if he can stay in that tow.
Jareth Hallam is now nearly a second behind Rich Snape, who's managed to pull away from his rival.
Snape's really got his head down. That V12 sound is just glorious as he hits the limiter.
Dorado is holding on 10th place, but Greg Szabo is starting to close in on him.
He needs to be careful not to let Szabo get a good run on him through the next sector.
Dorado has dropped to 12th now, with a 3.7-second gap between him and Greg Szabo. It's going from bad to worse for Dorado. He slipped to 13th, and Szabo is disappearing up the road.
He looks like he's completely lost the handle on those tires. Once the surface overheats like that, you're just a passenger. until they cool down.
Dorado is within 5/10 of Neil Constable Barry for 12th place as they move through lap 10.
He's still fighting, despite that earlier time loss. You can see he's trying everything to claw back into the contention.
Dorado's closing in. He's just 4/10 back now as they move through the middle sector.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be tough to make a move without a mistake from Neil.
Greg Szabo is 6/10 behind Tim Weller as they power through Brooklands for the 10th time. Weller is stretching that gap out now, up to 8/10 on Greg Szabo.
He's really found his second wind. You can see he's getting the power down much earlier now.
Neil Constable Barry is chasing Dorado, just 4/10 back in 14th position.
He's keeping the pressure on. Dorado's going to have to defend like his life depends on it.
Dorado has pulled out an extra 4/10 over Neil Constable Barry as they cross the line for lap 11. Jared Hallam is chasing the podium finish now, 7/10 behind Rich Snake for second.
He's keeping the pace up. It's going to be a tense final few laps for the podium positions.
Hallam is inching closer to Snape now, 6/10 in it, as they head into the final 5 minutes.
He's keeping that slipstream and making sure he's in place for any late drama.
Joel Lemrick is all over the back of Neil Constable Barry through Abbey, just 2/10 in it.
He's really recovered from those earlier problems. He's found his feet again and is looking very fast.
And Joel Lemrick has made the move. He's up into 13th, but Neil Constable Barry is right there.
He used the slipstream perfectly. Now he just needs to keep his head down and try to pull away.
Dorado is 4/10 off the back of Greg Szabo for 11th place as they cross the line for lap 11.
He's keeping him in sight, but he's going to have to work hard to make a move from here.
Dorado is within 3/10 of Greg Szabo now as the race enters the final 5 minutes. Joel Lemrick has dropped back to 14th, and he's within 2/10 of Neil Constable Barry for 13th. It's a brilliant day for racing here at Silverstone 2005 Grand Prix. I'm really enjoying this.
This race is truly epic. What a treat to be sat here witnessing this spectacle.
Joel Lemrich is back up to 13th, 3/10 behind Martin Mall as they move through Club Corner. Joel Lemrich is within 3/10 of Martin Mall, and the race enters the final 4 minutes.
He's keeping the pressure on the pro driver in front. It's a great battle for 12th place.
Greg Szabo is currently 5/10 behind Thomas Kruger Dorado for 10th place as they start lap 12.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be a tough ask to make a move from here.
Dorado is stretching that gap out now, up to 6/10 on Greg Szabo. Joel Lemrich is within 2/10 of Martin Moll for 12th place as they move through lap 13.
He's keeping the pressure on. It's a great battle for 12th place.
Joel Lemrich has dropped back to 5/10 now as the race moves towards its climax.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be tough to make a move without a mistake from Martin.
Phil Bodkin is up to 6th now, and he's within 5/10 of Nigel Walters for 5th.
He's really recovered from those earlier problems. He's found his feet again and is looking very fast.
Bodkin is within 4/10 of Nigel Walters now as the race moves towards its climax.
He's keeping the pressure on. It's a great battle for 5th place.
Daniel Kosic is in 10th, 6/10 behind Dorado through Brooklands on lap 13. Dorado has stretched out that 10th place margin to a full second now. Jareth Hallam is chasing the podium finish now, 3/10 behind Rich Snape for second.
He's keeping the pace up. It's going to be a tense final few laps for the podium positions.
Jareth Hallam has dropped back to 4/10 now as the race moves towards its climax.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be tough to make a move without a mistake from Rich.
Rich Snape is within 3/10 of Adam Tyus for the lead as they head towards lap 14. Tyus has pulled out an extra 2/10 over Rich Snape as they cross the line for lap 14. Martin Moll is 3/10 behind Greg Szabo for 11th place as they start lap 14.
He's keeping the pressure on. It's a great battle for 11th place.
Martin Moll has made the move. He's back up to 11th, and Greg Szabo is right there looking to reclaim the spot.
He really earned that one. To pull that off against an AM driver shows how much confidence Martin has in the car right now.
Rich Snape is into second now, 5/10 behind Adam Tyus as they start lap 15.
He's keeping the pace up. It's going to be a tense final few laps for the podium positions.
Rich Snape is within 5/10 of Adam Tyus for the lead now as they head into the final 5 minutes.
He's keeping him in his sights. He won't want to let him get too far ahead as the race enters the final 10 minutes.
Jareth Hallam is 6/10 behind Rich Snape through Club Corner as the race hits the final few minutes.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be tough to make a move without a mistake from Rich.
Jareth Hallam has closed that gap to 5/10 now as the race moves towards its climax.
He's really found his second wind. You can see he's getting the power down much earlier now.
Martin Moll is in 14th, 6/10 behind Daniel Kosic as they cross the line for lap 15.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be a tough ask to make a move from here.
Rich Snape is within 2/10 of Adam Tyus for the lead as they head towards lap 16. Rich Snape has dropped back to 4/10 now as the race moves towards its climax.
He's keeping him honest, but it's going to be tough to make a move without a mistake from Adam.
What does Rich Snape and Severus Snape have in common?
They both have bottomless disdain for you?
Law. No, Euro, they both hate Harry Potter. Rich Snape is within 3/10 of Adam Tyus for the lead now as they head into the final 5 minutes. Rich Snape has dropped back to 5/10 now as the race moves towards its climax.
He's really found his second wind. You can see he's getting the power down much earlier now.
Adam Tyus is just 20 seconds from the flag, but Rich Snape is only 3/10 behind and looking for one final lunge. And Adam Tyus crosses the line to take a brilliant victory at VVS, coming all the way from third on the grid. Rich Snape finishes second, an incredible comeback from 12th on the starting grid.
And Jareth Hallam takes the final podium spot from 15th place. That is some of the most impressive racing I've seen in a long time.
David Constable-Berry takes fourth, with Phil Bodkin, Chris Stokes, and Tim Weller filling out the top 7.
Great clean racing there. They traded a bit of paint, but gave each other just enough room.
Nigel Walters finishes 8th, with Dorado, Lemrich, and Sabo rounding out the top 11.
They really earned that one. To pull that off against a pro driver shows how much confidence Dorado has in the car right now.
Neil Constable-Berry takes 12th, with Daniel Kozik just behind in 13th position.
And Martin Mole brings the Shadow V8 home in 14th to wrap up our top 14 runners here.
Darren Nickel and Dominic Fovarg complete our finishers in 15th and 16th.